Welcome to the meeting of the Hingham Municipal Light Board, October 14th, 2025 at 4 p.m. This meeting is being held remotely or in person actually it's being held remotely as an alternate means for public access pursuant to Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025 and all other applicable laws temporarily amending certain provisions of the open meeting law. You're hereby advised that this meeting and all communications during this meeting may be recorded by the town of Hingham in accordance with the open meeting law. If any participant wishes to record this meeting, please notify the chair at the start of the meeting in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20F, so that the chair may inform all other participants of said recording. Is there anyone else who is planning to record the meeting today? Okay, I think not. So thanks, and we will move to the first item on the agenda, which is a revisit of the discussion of credit card charges, which we began, I think, at the last meeting or the meeting. No, this is the third meeting. We're discussing this. I think where we left it was that Mike and Joan were going to get together and talk about whether anything should be proposed. Is that where we left it? Please refresh my memory.
Yeah, I believe so. So Michael and Joan did meet and myself. So I think where we are now is basically three options for credit card fees at this point. So we could charge all commercial customers the 2.9%, which would be an option. Given that commercial customers, given that you can only put $1,000 on a credit card at a time, I'm not sure how many commercial customers are really utilizing credit cards for payments. Because they'd have to go in there multiple times to put, if there's more, they owe more than $1,000. The other option is we could just have everyone, we could force customers that are on auto pay or not allow customers that are on auto pay to use credit cards. So that would force them, they have to, if they want to use the credit card, to go in every month rather than being on auto pay. They wouldn't be able to be on auto pay, in other words.
So that is an option. Do I understand that right?
That would be an option.
Okay.
And then the third would be just to put everyone on a flat rate or a percentage that uses a credit card. I guess the thing with that is it will reduce our fees, but any fees that are charged would go to the invoice cloud. They would collect those charges. So, and in talking to Joan, I think what our recommendation is right now is maybe just to leave things the way they are, knowing that we're going to be going to a new platform or an upgraded platform in sometime late next year, probably, or the beginning of 27. And then at that time, implement whatever process we want to achieve, work with then. And part of the reasoning behind that is if we make everyone change now and we go to a new system, they're going to have to change again. So
Wouldn't what they have in effect roll over to the new system? Or is everyone going to have to reapply, so to speak?
I think Joan could probably answer that, but I believe it's dependent on whether we go to a new system or we stay with Cogsdale, an upgraded system that they're going to be coming out with. And Joan's going to be reviewing their system in December at a conference.
But it looked like you weren't going to be making a decision about whether to stick with Cogsdale for another, like until the early 2027, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
So Cogsdale does our billing and Invoice Cloud does the receivables. Am I understanding that?
They collect revenue, correct?
So the bills come from Cogsdale and the money gets funneled through different mechanisms through Invoice Cloud. So I had two questions just for clarification. In reading over the minutes from August 14th, there's a sum of $12,000 that wasn't charged for ATM transactions. So ATM in my mind is automatic teller. That's a cash machine. I wasn't quite sure whether that was the correct terminology there.
Those are debit cards.
Those are the debit cards.
Oh.
Okay. Maybe just put that in just for thoroughness.
I don't have meetings in front of me. I can go back and look at them if you want.
Yeah, no,
I don't recall everything that was discussed then.
I can make that change in the minutes when we go to
Sure.
approve the minutes, but
And did you have a second question, Mike?
the second question was that the amount that was charged for credit card fees was $113,000
That's correct.
in that year, and that was a typo in a previous set of minutes. But
Hmm.
$113,000 is a substantial amount of fees that could be reduced with some behavioral changes on how people pay their bills.
You know, Michael, I think I just misspoke. I think those were the EFT charges because debit cards are considered credit cards. So I think those were the EFT charges, which are like they automatically come out of someone's checking account.
So that's EFT and
EFT
ACH
are
are
the same,
basically the same thing.
correct.
I mean, it's quite complicated when somebody reads over these minutes to understand exactly what the different payment mechanisms are and
Mhm.
the sort of the industry speak for how the money comes from the customer accounts into our accounts.
So, Mike, did you, how do you feel about the proposal to wait until we go to the new system to reevaluate this?
I think we should try and educate people. I think that was one thing that we talked about when Joan and Tom and I met about just what these fees are. And it seems to me that if we do make it a little bit more difficult for people to use the credit card, they might opt for using the automated ACH or automated debit card transaction. Because I assume we don't get charged the same amount of fees on a debit card than a credit card. Is that
No.
correct, Joan?
No, it's the same.
It's the same. It's the same. You know, I'm reluctant just to postpone this when it's clear that our vendors are making a substantial amount of money out of this. It seems to me also that Invoice Cloud are a little bit inflexible on the way they charge their fees and what they take. Maybe there's another vendor that we could look into rather than Invoice Cloud, but I think we're leaving a lot of our customer money on the table here. I really do.
If we change it, Michael, I don't know if you recall this, if we change it so our customers pay the fee, it will reduce our expenses, but increase our customers' expenses substantially.
More,
I'm sorry,
substantially more.
right,
I mean, we'll get our fees back, but they will pay more than that.
correct.
That's
And
how I
it
read
was
the
about-
minutes.
It was just
lot
about
more.
double.
Yeah, almost double.
It was almost double. That's significant.
So why don't we just make it more difficult for people to pay with the credit card and have them have to do it every month rather than setting and forgetting it? Because then every month they can see that
Mhm.
they can save money and we can save money if they set up an auto pay.
If that's what your objective is, but I just feel like it's gonna be an inconvenience to the customers. They're gonna be calling, they're gonna say, I think it was on auto pay. They may call, well, guess what? I missed my discount because I thought it was on auto pay. I didn't see the flyer. Okay, then next month, guess what? I thought it was on auto pay. I think it's gonna be a major inconvenience. If you're up, I mean, that's not my call, that's your call. I just see it generating a lot of phone calls.
Tyler, you have any thoughts about this?
I do like the idea of reducing fees, which, that Mike is saying, and it's just money on the table that we're paying for no reason. And if we could just get people to move over to ACH, that would save us a lot right there.
What if we, I guess, what if we did, set a date to, move people from auto pay to, um, with a credit card, no longer be able to use a credit card for auto pay. So whether it's, 3 months, 4 months out, and, leading up to that, we do some kind of a campaign to kind of educate people. Let them know that it's coming and, some education on why we're doing it.
Well, I really like the idea of disallowing credit cards on auto pay. Because I know from my own personal experience, I'm sure this is true, that those kinds of things really do influence the decisions that you make. Oh, I can put it on my bank account on auto pay, but not a credit. Okay. And I do think that will change people's behavior. And I like it because it leaves the credit card option unchanged for people who really need to use credit cards to get by, which we know we have customers in that situation, and it doesn't change their situation at all. So I like that about it too. I mean, if the people who really need that option will have it, is what I'm saying. So I like this approach. I'm wondering if you really think that this is the kind of thing that would have to change when we change the billing system again in 2027. I don't know the answer to that, but
I can answer that. If we go to a new provider, they're probably going to use a different credit card company. So the customers would have to set their credit cards information up all over again in the
Oh.
ACH information all over again.
Oh, well, they would have to do it all over again anyway.
If
So
we
no
switch-
difference. Yeah.
Well, it's making them do it twice versus once.
Uh-huh. Well, um, I'm kind of okay with that. Uh, I feel like I feel like we can save money for ratepayers and still keep the options open for people who really need these options and give people a nudge, like Mike said.
So why don't we advertise it between now and the end of the year, and then at the beginning of next year, we go on to, you can pay by credit card, but it's got to be an individual transaction. It can't be saved and reoccur. And keep promoting it that ACH can be set up and forget it.
Do you have easy access, Joan, to the list of customers who have credit cards on autopay?
Yes, and it's about 90% are on auto pay.
So you could actually send them emails repeatedly, and it wouldn't be, if you have the list, just write the email and just send it to them every week for the next 2 months. Would that help?
Yeah, as long as they read their emails.
Well, we should try other things too. I mean, Brianna can help with some social media stuff or article in the Anchor. You can put something in the bill at least once. I mean, that's expensive, so you don't want to go overboard with that.
Yeah. We could do that in December. We could put something in the December, with the November bills.
Okay, so I'm hearing a consensus for moving towards making credit cards ineligible for auto pay as of the first of the year. And a plan to do a marketing campaign around that in hopes of reaching people before the first of the year. Did I get that right? Does that sum this up?
Yeah, I support that.
Yeah,
Okay. Staff folks, can we live with this? Is this a thing we can do?
That's definitely doable.
Thank you. Thank you for doing it, man. We do appreciate it very much. I feel like this is good for the ratepayers and good for the people who need this option. So I'd like to do this. So anyway, is there anybody who would like to make a motion to that effect?
so moved.
Just say so moved. Somebody, okay.
So moved.
And
All right, second.
okay. Unless there's any further discussion, we'll take a vote. All in favor, Tyler,
Aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Laura, aye. Thank you. Now I have to go change my method of payment.
You have a few days.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. And I know there was a lot of work involved in gathering the information that we needed to really make this decision. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. I think this is a good thing going forward. Second item on the agenda is the income adjusted rate, which we had agreed we were going to be reevaluating every 6 months. So thank you very much for bringing this to our attention again. Can you tell us how the program is going and if the numbers involved are climbing?
Joan has that.
We're up to about 210 customers that have the reduced rate on residential, and we have 2 on the electric heat side. So all I can do is tell you what the numbers are. So what it cost us in the difference in revenue for last year was about $16,000. This year to date, it's been about $13,000.
Mhm.
And that's with a 15% reduction on the customer charge and capacity transmission and distribution.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question because I couldn't remember which pieces of the bill it was on. Give me a second to write that down. Is customer charge and CD&T.
Yep.
Okay. So, any thoughts about how this program is going? Anybody would like to share or any proposals for changes? Anyone?
I don't see in this community the number of customers increasing significantly. So I feel like whatever we can do to help the people that do need it, it's a nice gesture. And it's not
Yeah.
costing us a ton of money.
I hope it's more than a gesture. I hope it's a real help. And some of the people who are on that rate have told me that. They say it is a real help. Any amount is a real help. So that
Well, we just probably more than paid for that with the credit card fee change.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I expect a lot of changes in customer behavior from that. I really do. So
I think we should promote it more. And I think we should also promote the equal payment plan that HMLP offers, so that you can figure out what their monthly bill is based on their annual usage and adjust once a year, so people can get used to a budget if they so choose.
I wonder, Brianna, if you could plan to do one bill flyer a year and one email a year to all customers to just put it on the schedule once a year, put out the information about the program, unless you're already doing that, or
Well, I
don't
think
know.
we do that by the simple fact that people, well, I guess we do it for the customers that are on AI because they have to reapply every year. So
Mhm.
they're aware, but
Yeah,
I
but
don't
looking
know
for
that we do
new
it for every customer.
Well, we have a true up. The true up is usually in January or February, more than likely February.
Right, but we're just sort of, I mean, you say you feel like there's not going to be that much more uptake, but I wonder if it is worth one bill flyer and one email a year to the whole customer base to remind
Yeah.
people that this exists, because there may be people who didn't need it when we got started and uh-oh, now they do.
I think it advertises what we offer,
Mm.
what our services that we offer, and obviously how we pay for it and how we keep our rates low and our reliability up, etc. We also have the paragraph that we can adjust every month on the paper bills with a note from HMLP. But it would be good to see it in a flyer. I think
You know,
we
flashy
have the
flyer,
ability to do
one of those beautiful
two-sided
things that
flyers.
Brianna puts together that are so lovely and
Yeah.
attention getting. I love them.
Yeah, we can do two-sided flyers. I
Mhm.
know there's an additional cost to print on both sides, but at least there's no more paper involved.
Mhm. So is this a plausible idea?
We can do
Tom,
that.
Tom and Brianna?
Tom and I had already talked about sending a flyer out in December with general holiday reminders, including the income adjusted rate to everyone, because everyone on the rate will have to also reapply by December 20th.
Yeah.
Right.
I would also like to propose an increase in the percentage to go into effect at the beginning of next year.
Okay, what would you like to propose?
I would propose 25%.
25%. Do we have any idea how that compares with other light plants who are offering this kind of rate?
I
Maybe
know.
not. Yeah.
I thought what Brianna might know better. When we first started talking about an AI rate, I don't think there were that many municipal light plants that offer a rate, are there?
There weren't, but I can get
Hmm.
updated numbers on that.
Okay.
Mm. So, how would this be, Mike? What if we ask Brianna to maybe check with other light plants who do this and see what they do? And maybe we could ask Joan to bring us to the next meeting, a projection of what the cost would be. Yeah. Is there any
Okay.
other information we need?
Do we have anything from the investor-owned utility side?
Meaning what
Do they have such a thing?
They do.
Yeah.
They do have an income, a low income rate.
That would be good to know
It would
too.
be nice to be able to compare to the IOUs.
Mhm. It would.
I want to say it's 10%, but I'm not sure on that.
You
We
know,
can find that out.
10% of what, do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. So, okay with you, Mike, if we bring this
Yeah.
proposal back for the next meeting with
Yeah.
information about what other utilities do and what the cost to us would be?
Yeah, I would just propose that we try and do our homework, and whatever we decide, we put into effect at the beginning of next year's calendar year.
Okay, is there any other information we might need that you can think of just to be, so that we don't end up saying, oh, we need to know? I can't think of any, I'm just asking while we're discussing it. Okay, okay, so we will table that proposal until we have more data at the next meeting and take it up again. Thank you. Okay, we're up to approve meeting minutes for the meeting minutes of August 1st or 14th, actually. Mike, I know you wanted to go over the minutes and make sure it represented the discussion accurately. Were you able to do that?
I'm good, yeah.
Okay, good. So any other proposals for the changes to the meeting minutes? I had one, just one. On the fourth page, under the transmission line project, says the second round of questions from the siting board. Siting board is spelled not correctly. It's SITING. Maybe we could just, it's referenced twice in this paragraph. Maybe we could just say Energy Facility Siting Board, just to give it, substitute the real name of the agency so that we're clear about that. That would be good. Anything else?
I had one on the most recent set of minutes.
Okay, let's do this one first, okay?
Okay,
I just want to
yeah.
make sure we're okay on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, carry on. We'll vote to approve them together.
So on the 9th of September one, I think I'd said half of HMLP customers. I think I'd rather change half to many, because I don't know the exact number. that may be struggling
Mhm.
to pay their bills.
Mhm.
And I said
Okay.
that they're not struggling to pay their bills. And I think the number of people that are on the low income rate, those numbers substantiate that many people in Hingham are not struggling.
Okay. Any other proposed changes to these two sets of minutes?
No,
Okey doke, I'll entertain a motion to approve the meeting minutes of August 14th and of September 9th with the changes that have been proposed here today at this meeting.
So moved.
second,
Okay, all in favor, Mike,
Aye.
Tyler,
aye.
Laura, aye. Thank you. Transmission line project update. So as I was rereading the minutes before this meeting, I saw, Tom, that you said in the last meeting that the plan is to bring the transmission project to town meeting in 2027.
26.
That, the minutes say 27.
Oh, that's-
The minutes we just approved.
That was September's?
Yeah, I think so. Said 2027, so I was
Yeah.
surprised. I think it
Maybe I
was
said 27, but I meant 26. Yeah, no, the plan is to bring it to town meeting on the spring of 26.
let me look again at, maybe it was in the August one. August. No, or maybe it was in September one. Just a moment, let me open the September minutes. And we'll be down at the bottom with the transmission line update. Yes. Yep, on page 5, first paragraph, updates transmission line project, it says project approval is expected around August 2026. Afterward, HMLP will finalize cost estimates and prepare a plan for bonding at the spring 2027 town meeting.
We'll be preparing the bonding to have it for a warrant for December, the end of December, beginning of January, and then the approval for the project will come in the summer of 2026, August of 2026. We're hoping for approval of the project.
Right, but you expect to go to town meeting in May of
2026, yeah, both of them.
April of 2026. So could I just suggest that we reopen these minutes and delete the sentence that says afterward, HMLP will finalize cost estimates and prepare a plan for bonding at the spring 2027 town meeting? Because that may have been said or understood, but it's not accurate. So could I suggest that we just delete that sentence and then have the minutes of this meeting reflect the actual intent?
We can't,
I'm sorry?
we can do that, just.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Does that sound okay to Tyler and Michael?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
well, I would entertain a motion to reopen the September 9th minutes and delete the sentence that we just referred to.
So moved.
Okay,
Second,
all in favor, Tyler,
aye.
Mike,
Aye.
Laura, aye. Okay, you got that, Elaine? Who's our advisory committee representative? I just wanted to make sure the advisory committee is aware of this. Thank you. Okay.
Yes, I thought it was 26. That's what I told people. So,
Yeah, okay.
so thank you.
Okay, thank you. It just wanted to clarify that. Okay. Sorry, Tom, carry on with your update on the project.
Well, I think we missed the financials, right, for August?
Oh, did I skip over something?
Yeah.
I did. I'm sorry. Let's go to the financials.
All right, so for August 25, our kilowatt hour sales were in line for, given the weather. We had it wasn't that hot of a month. Revenue of 3.5 million, expenses 2.9 million, net income $528,000.
Are you able to easily pop these up on the screen?
I am. Uh, That come up.
Coming. Maybe.
Try it again.
There we
There we
go.
go.
Very good. Great, thanks.
So our net income was 528,000. Year to date net income of 3.7 million. When we look at the budget, we're budgeting, based on our actuals to be just over 8% return for 2025. And given that we don't know what our OPEB and our pension amounts will be for 25 until the end of the year when they calculate that, we're suggesting that we reduce our energy charge for October. And that's something Joan can do in the next week or two to figure out how much we should reduce it to get us to about 7.5%, just to kind of be safe for.
Can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Is there a reason why you could not contribute more to your OPEB fund than the recommendation in a given year? Because that's gonna lower your requirements in future years, and that might be a way to use that extra or maybe, I don't know, maybe we still have to recognize the revenue. Is that the problem, Joan? Whether we contribute to the OPEB fund or not?
It's still, we're limited as to what it's a calculation that they go through. So we take it's the assets of the fund at the end of the year, less what the present value is of the unfunded liability. And then that's what we can expense for that year. Can we contribute more? I think we can, but I don't know, I think we still have to wait to write it off in the year that it'll be recognized. I don't know the answer to that. I have to find out, but
I mean, that's an expense you're gonna have at some point anyway.
Right,
And
but-
if, what the issue is that people do get confused when we move the PCA around. And
right.
not just the people who live in my house, but other people as well. So,
But
I think if we could, I'm looking forward to the day when 8% of our assets is much higher after we've completed this project, and we probably won't have this difficulty. But for now, I know that people get disoriented when that moves around.
So
We are
this-
required, I'm sorry.
sorry, let me understand this correctly. So
Mhm,
the PCA is currently 0.
correct.
You're proposing to reduce the cost per kilowatt hour of the energy in
Correct.
order to offset the OPEB responsibility. That sort of seems just a little contrary to me. Should we have a negative PCA? And that would be a credit, if you like, similar to the New York credit that we receive. That's, fractions of a cent, but it's a line item on the bill.
Okay, right now, our fuel, we're spending a little over 7.5 cents for everything other than our nukes. So our nukes are less than 0.5 cent for fuel. So I can justify bringing down the fuel costs because our nukes are bringing down our fuel costs. Once we get below that, then if you want to go to a negative PCA, we can, but I can't justify it now because we're still overcharging the fuel because of our nukes.
Okay.
So, what's confusing to me about this is the role of the board in setting rates.
Mhm.
It's the board's job to set rates. And I kind of get that PCA is the flexible rate that is set up to be able to take account of these circumstances, but we're in a place where it can't accomplish that job. What is the role of the board in changing what we charge for the rest of the rate?
I thought it was your job to approve the budget and then we determine what the rates are.
I don't think so. I guess we better find out.
Now think about this. How can you tell me what the rates are gonna be when you're not dealing with it?
We approve the rates, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Um,
we.
I mean,
set-
if somebody's plotting a graph of the costs of the energy and suddenly it goes up or down, the question is why? What's causing that? And our explanation about balancing a pension requirement doesn't make sense to me.
Well, you're not gonna come out and say just because of pension, but that is something we can't control. But we still have to stay below our 8%. We don't know what our pension's gonna be. We know what a lot of our expenses are gonna be, but we can't control what our pension's gonna be to the end of the year.
And there's no estimate that we can get from the actuaries on that.
It depends.
Even if we overestimate it, like Laura suggests, and have a positive balance, a credit balance at the end of the year, I think that's a better situation to be in than changing the rates.
Last year, I overestimated it. I don't know what the fair market value of our assets are gonna be at the end of the year that are held in this fund. That's beyond my pay grade, and I'm not an actuary. So what I do is I take I base it on previous years, and I do $540,000 did $540,000 for this year. Is it gonna be too high or too low? I won't know that until after I get the actuary's report, which probably isn't gonna be to February.
Right.
That's after our year end. So what am I gonna do is go back to these rate pays and guess what? We didn't collect enough money, so now people, we have to make up this money. I mean, it doesn't work that way. It's a moving target. But no, you're not gonna go tell people that we're changing our rates because we don't know what our pension liability is gonna be, because we estimated, on previous years.
It's in the budget. It's budgeted.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's budgeted for,
Yeah.
but it's a variable, we can't control that. What's the market
Mhm.
value gonna be of our assets at 12/31 that are held in this fund?
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know
And
that.
it's two funds, it's a pension and the OPEB.
Mhm.
I wish numbers were black and white, not.
I think we all understand they're not, and that this is
Okay.
really difficult. I really do. Um, so, um, at this moment, it's unclear to me what the board's authority is in this area. I think we should, discuss this with our attorney, because sometimes when I mention raising rates or lowering rates, we're told you have to do a rate study in order to do that. So, we're not doing a rate study to change our rates in this case. So I'm confused. I'm just saying I'm confused. So, but we need to help Joan solve this problem in the immediate term.
I wish that we could say, okay, at the beginning of the year, these are gonna be our rates for the entire year. And these are gonna be our expenses, and this is what our revenue is gonna be. I wish we could do that, but all we can do is estimate it.
Mhm.
We're estimating all those numbers. We
Mhm.
don't even know if it's gonna be a hot year or a cold year. We don't even know how many kilowatt hours we're gonna sell.
And we don't really know where energy prices are gonna go when we buy it,
don't.
at least when we buy it on the open market. I mean, most of it's contracts, and
Yeah.
that's good because
Yeah.
it doesn't move. But we do buy stuff on the open market that we don't know what it's gonna cost.
But our contracts, we also have a variable component of our contracts, and that's our fuel. When we had this rate study done, fuel was over 9 cents. Now it's down to 7. Other than I knew it's less than half a penny. Right? So if that was going up, our rates would be going up. Right? But we wouldn't have another rate study because it takes too long to do a rate study, but we have to collect our revenue in the correct period.
It would also be very expensive to do another rate study just for this purpose.
And talking
Wouldn't
about that,
recommend that.
we need another rate
Yeah,
study.
we do. But that's
Which
yeah,
I
but
am
that doesn't
looking at
solve
that.
your problem in the short term.
No, it doesn't.
So could I suggest that we thank Joan for explaining to us what she's planning to do to meet our legal requirements to be under the 8% limit to our retained earnings, and schedule a more complete discussion about how we change rates in the short term and the term, and what the various parties' authority is in that regard. Just so, because now I'm uncertain. Does that make sense to Mike and Tyler?
That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And
Okay.
you can't do a negative PCA.
No, we
You can't, you can, the guys who did our rate study said, we don't recommend a negative PCA, but I don't really recall why they said that. I remember hearing them say that, though.
Yeah.
I think that's confusing to customers too.
Yeah,
know.
well, the PCA per se is confusing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's less confusing if it's a credit.
Yeah. Okay, well, from the board, thank you, Joan, for telling us what your plans are, and we will have a deeper discussion about what's the right way to go with short-term rate changes in the future.
If you can think of another way of doing it other than adjusting our fuel and our power cost adjustment, let me in on it, because other than that, it's changing rates, and that's
I'm
hard.
sure I cannot, but we.
I have faith in you, Laura. I have faith in you.
Okay, anything else on the financials, Tom? I
No, that was
I
it.
took them down just so that we could see each other while we were talking, but.
I think
Okay.
that's enough.
Okay, yes, I've had enough, that's enough. Okay, moving on now to the transmission project status.
Okay, we had hearings last week with the siting board. Those hearings went very well, I thought, anyway. There were some follow-up questions that we had to have for the siting board last Friday. They were submitted. Deirdre and Rob Shapiro will be writing a briefing that will be submitted in December, I believe it is, the beginning of December. I'm not quite sure what happens after that, but I know that the approval would not come until around August of 26. So we're expecting, based on the meetings we've had, we're hoping for a positive approval of the project, and the siting board will obviously have some stipulations that we will have to meet if the project is approved. But that's where that project is right now.
I'm just curious if you know what kind of stipulations they might have. What might they like to have changed?
Well, they're going to tell us which route it is.
Oh, they tell us which route.
They're going to tell us.
Okay.
They will tell us which route we're going to go.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
Yeah. Based on the two routes that we proposed, the preferred and the alternative. So they'll choose one of those routes and tell us which one we're going to go.
So Lake Street is still a possibility, is that correct?
What's that?
Lake Street in Weymouth is still a possibility,
It could still be a possibility. Yep.
which they're in the process of repaving right now.
Repaving, yeah. We don't, based on what the town is looking for, the town is looking for, Weymouth is looking for Broad Street still.
Right,
So
right.
we
And that's
expect,
the shorter of the two routes.
we kind of expect that will be the route, but
Okay.
again, that's a siting board decision that we'll have to live by, whatever route they want us to go. There may be some something in there as far as what we'll do for Weymouth as part of this project. As paving, things along the route that we go to, whether it's paving, some curbing, whatever it is. That'll be worked out. Hopefully that'll be worked out between HMLP and Weymouth, and whatever we work out with them will be approved by the siting board. But the siting board could also add some conditions to that.
Those meetings are all recorded and available on YouTube, I believe.
Yeah, so the meetings were scheduled for it was a Monday, a Tuesday, and a Friday, and they were completed about 1 o'clock on the Tuesday. So we didn't even go to Friday. So I thought that was positive, and
Good sign.
There weren't a lot of questions compared to other sighting board hearings that they've had, you know, that Rob and Deirdre have been involved with. They thought it went pretty well. So. So once the briefing is done, again, I think it's just a matter of waiting for an approval.
So did you have, I think I interrupted you, Mike. Did you have a question? No, I didn't interrupt you. Surprised. Okay, anything else on transmission project from anyone? Okay, I think the big hot project we still have going on right now is the insulator switch out, right? How's that going?
Yeah, and Mark can talk.
Yeah, we've got scheduled to start on the 27th. They gave us their schedule and we have the flag is set up. So it'll be 27th of October till the first week of November. They'll be on the railroad. And then the following, I think they have 8 additional days to do the road work after that on French and Hobart. So we're looking, as long as the weather and everything completes, we should be done somewhere around the middle of third week of November. And we should be good to go. The only thing that could affect it is like the weekend. If right now they don't have any weekend work in, but that might speed it up a little bit if there's flag issues during the week and whatnot. So, but as far as their schedule, they're looking at just over 3 weeks worth of work is what they have on their schedule.
Okay, great.
And the Circuit 9 is just about completed. I guess there's maybe one more transfer on that. Circuit 6 is that's the Elm Street job. Verizon has poles to set. They've indicated that they're going to start setting those poles this week. So we're hoping that those poles get installed and we can get that project completed this year. We did have some recloses on the capital plan this year. We were just notified a couple weeks ago that those recloses will not arrive until February of next year. So that will get bumped to next year, though we will probably do some of the fiber work that's going to be required this year for that. So.
Are those reclosers gonna by any chance cost a whole lot more than we thought they were when we ordered them?
I
Or are
don't
they still
think
on
so,
track?
Steve.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nope, they're the same price we bidded.
okay,
Yeah.
great. Getting anxious about that kind of thing. Okay, great. Thank you for the capital updates. I think the next and last item on the agenda is our November meeting date. Second Tuesday in November is Veterans Day, so we probably want to choose another day. We could choose Wednesday the 3rd, or we could choose the following Tuesday. Is it Wednesday the 3rd? Okay, I'm making that up. I'm hallucinating a date. Let me just. So it is the 4th. That is the first Tuesday, and nope, sorry, that's the election day. The 11th is Veterans Day. So we could choose the 12th, maybe Wednesday, or Tuesday the 18th. Any preference or any other suggested time from Mike or Tyler?
I think the 18th would be preferred.
18th? Okay, Mike,
That's fine.
that's okay with you? Okay, so we will do that then. And-
For that meeting, I was thinking of having E&E come in and do a kind of roadmap again. We didn't do that this year with them, so if everyone's in agreement, I'll schedule them for the 18th.
That would be very nice. I look forward to that. Great. Okay, I think that is the end of our agenda. And unless there's any other new unforeseen business, I'll entertain a motion. Yes, Brianna has some new and unforeseen business.
I just quickly want to say our event was a success from
Oh
the
yeah, it was lots of fun.
on October 4th. We had about 150 people come through. So it was a great day. I have more details, but I don't know how much you want me to go into it at the last minute on a Tuesday afternoon.
Well, I think we could take another 2 minutes to hear about it. It was very exciting.
Yes, we had a lot of families, a lot of kids. It was very popular between like 11:30 in the morning to 12:30. We gave out 125 hot dogs. We had to send Mark out to go get more when we ran out of the first half, and then we gave out at least 100 pumpkins. We had about 18 test drives with specific like engaged participants that we tracked, which is lower than what we had last year. So last year, our EV ride and drive filled up overnight. We had pretty much nonstop cars going in and out. So this one, the interest was much more on the bucket trucks and the kids' activities, a lot of families versus having people get in the cars and test driving them. But this was also a few days after the incentives went away. They ended on September 30th. Our event was October 4th. So we were anticipating some sort of drop off in interest. But we had strong popularity in the back with the food and pumpkins. We opened up the garage. People could try on the lineman gloves. They had to try to close a cutout. Kids loved that. They could climb on the bucket trucks. We had face painting, lawn games from the library. Five-Field Bikes was here, so people could test drive electric bikes around our lot, which was very popular. Tom ran the popcorn machine all day. Rob ran the grill for us. We set up a portable induction stove where people could actually see us cooking apples and cinnamon. I conned my mom into staying all day to do that for us. And then that generated some interest in induction cooking. And then we had tables with Energy New England, Next Zero, the Climate Action Commission, and the water department came, and they brought water for the event. And then we just had a lot of showcase vehicles and things like that. So it was a good day.
You know what my favorite part was actually the police department's electric truck, which I didn't know they had. And so having it there with the big sign that says I'm electric, that was like people going by were like, oh, we're putting electric vehicles in our town fleet. That's amazing. So I really like that.
Can bring
Yeah,
a bus next time.
Next time a bus. That'd be amazing.
That would be good. We had our hybrid bucket truck outside too, and we put a sign out that it was hybrid. It would be great to have an electric bus at the next one.
Yeah. Great. Thank you for that report.
Do we
Nice.
have a, just aside, do we have a map of all of the EV charges we have in town? Which is quite a really a map that I'm quite proud of. We have a high density of charges throughout town. I'm wondering if we can publicize that a little bit more.
We have a web page on our website called the EV Charging Network, and it shows all of our chargers mapped out on it. And we can definitely advertise it out more. We haven't in a while because we haven't added new ones to it. But we can certainly put it out there, make a post.
Or maybe put it in the back of one of our flyers or something like that.
And the chargers do get a lot of interest. We are getting, I think, fairly decent checks from Flow every quarter with the amount.
I know the water company is in the process of obtaining 2 electric vans, and I think when they get them, they're hoping they're going to be able to park them at the front of our building and charge them there at night.
Oh.
We're gonna charge them to charge
I
at night.
Yeah, they'll have a credit card, you know.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, it won't be free.
Okay.
No, they'll utilize the charges. But,
But don't we charge like an arm and a leg at those chargers? I mean, we don't, if they charged at the water treatment plant or wherever they consider to be their headquarters, they would get a much better rate.
Yeah, this is just until they can get charges installed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this would be just to help them with.
Okay, good. That will be fun too. Okay, well, thank you very much, everybody. I entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting now.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, Tyler?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Laura? Aye. Thank you, everyone.